Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Design Recharge. I'm your host, Diane Gibbs, and I'm here with my friend Kostas. I'm going to say his last name. Well, Konstantinos Kolias.
There you go.
I did. I just had to try a little bit harder. Anyway, but we just call him Kostas. Kostas and I met. He was crazy about meeting people. He loves people. I like to meet one new friend a week. He likes to meet one new friend an hour, I think. I don't know how the man keeps up, but he really does love people. So I'm excited. And we have been working on something together. Maybe that's why I've been not able to get my podcast out, but it'll go out. I'm starting this now. I'm able to record and then edit over the weekend and then push them out. So if you're listening and you're like, when are these things coming back out? They're coming real soon. Anyway, I'm excited to have so many people from all over the world. Thank you guys for being here and doing this with us. Okay, so you want to tell them how we met?
I was one of your campers.
Well, no, before the camp. We met before the camp, remember?
So in the pro group with Chris Doe of the
in
future.
The pro group, and we did a call. He said something really neat, and I think I reached out to him, and I said, "Hey, I'd love to connect with you." And then he said something, and he said he had 400 PPPs, and I was like, "What?" Maybe it wasn't 400, but it's like an accountability partner, somebody who's going to hold your feet to the fire when you say you're going to do something in your business, and it's something that the pro group does, which I love. And he said, "Do you want to be one of my 400 PPPs?" And I was like, okay. So I already have a PPP, but I was like, well, I just felt really led to just say yes. And I did. And I'm really excited that we did this. So give them a little bit of your background, because you have a pretty fantastic background, but don't talk about the research yet.
Thank you, Diane. Hello, everybody. My name is Konstantinos Kolias. Everybody calls me Kostas, the shortcut. I know Konstantinos sounds a little bit complicated. Anyway, I'm living in Europe. I'm from Greece, and the last 10 years, I have been practicing being an agency owner in the most intense work environment in the planet, New York City. And not because there are too many people. I think also there are too many perplexed mindsets. So it's always like a maze that you have to navigate. And the last 3 years, I have been working intensively to grow my business. And then the pandemic happened. But I found it interesting how life plays out for some of us. I always had inside of me the need and something like a hidden mission that I want to help people find more creative ideas about the businesses. And somehow I have been doing this before, not in an official level. Somehow I had great access from people to ask me anything when it comes to creativity, business, marketing, sales, branding. So let's say there was a talent, and this talent combining with skills and experience have become my big need to build something. So after the pandemic, I decided that I have to pivot, like a lot of you. I hope we're in the same wavelength, to find a more meaningful way to help people, because as an agency, we do a lot of photography, videography, and a lot of remote working, like social media, website, but we did need to see the people. So after the pandemic and there was no action in-house, I thought it was a good time for me to start investing my time to start learning things, start implementing my experience, and create something that will help me, first of all, to navigate this chaos. And I came up with a methodology that I'm very proud of. And to the point of Diane about the PPPs, that was when I decided to join the pro group. It was one of the videos, if you guys know Greg Hickman, about productizing your service as an agency owner. Somehow I found this very intriguing. So I joined the pro group and I met great people. And I wasn't sure how the PPP, the peak performance partner, was working. I just wanted to make friends. And then I realized, you know what, that would be a great idea for me to start aggregating data and start implementing my method to my friends, in exchange for the time. And that worked out well for me.
Right? You were practicing and you had these new friends that you could practice on, and they were willing because they got something out of it also.
Yeah. So here we are right now after 7 months. Me and Diane became really good friends, and we collaborate in many things and many brainstorming. She's actually my coach, and I'm her coach, and that works as a mutual transaction of efficient communication elements, and I love it, and I hope she loves it too. I love it though. I think I love it more than she does, but that's great because she's so special. The bottom line is that I think I found a partner for life as one of my family, a collaborator, a brainstormer, somebody who also aims to help people with her full dynamics and her full wisdom. So I'm very happy to meet you, Diane, and thank you for doing everything you're doing with me.
Okay, well, so let me give him a backstory, a little bit for you. So you have a degree in communication, I think, marketing,
Business administration.
And then you did a master's actually in communication.
Business administration.
In business administration. I clearly am not listening well.
Well, marketing back in 2000 when I graduated was like kind of outdated. Internet was kind of in the beginning of the evolution. So let's say that my degree right now is really outdated. A lot of money went, I don't want to say wasted. I learned a lot of things, but what I learned from my experience as an agency owner, it's priceless comparing to my degrees.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about that, because that's one of the things I think is really interesting. Not that you had to pivot, but I actually think you were probably in the mindset of pivoting before even, because I don't think you weren't living in New York City when I met you. You were already in the Catskills, right?
So yeah, me and my fiance, we make this big decision that now that all this craziness is taking place in New York, now's the time to move out and find a productive place for us to work, grow a family, and make a sustainable life. So I think the pandemic was kind of a blessing in disguise, but it worked out well for me, because we were ready to react fast.
Okay, but let's talk a little bit about the agency, which was you were working with restaurants and
mostly hospitality businesses, but lately I was trying to help also real estate agents, lawyers, small businesses, entrepreneurs generally. And the services like social media marketing and web design building and marketing general branding was kind of the outcome of a deeper connection I had with my clients. Most of my clients were friends with me because I was really paying attention to build trust with them. And I hope I was trustworthy enough for them to trust me with many things. But there was like an incident that kind of drove me to start. I know you don't want to talk about research.
No, I do. Go ahead.
Well, there was an incident with a client that somehow organically through Google local searching with the right method, I put them in the first page on his categories. No SEO, no AdWords. But somehow I don't think he understood what happened. And we're talking about a chaos of information out there. Thousands of businesses with the same keywords, and somehow I found a method, I implemented it, we worked it well, and I got him to be first. And feel free, whoever
in
wants.
New York City. In New York City. Like, that's amazing. And it was a restaurant, right?
It was a restaurant. So, and I will ask our guest if anybody wants and works in local marketing to reach out. I have a lot of golden nuggets to share. The point was that the customer, he saw himself first and he felt, yeah, I have a good business. So I think it's natural. I said, not really. It's not natural. It's something you need to do in order to go there. And I think that disconnection right there, I realized that the customers that don't really understand the power and the dynamics of what we're offering as agency owners, as marketing specialists, as branding strategists. I think the sales, marketing, branding, they all sound spammy to them. So for me, it became like a reaction to start understanding more about it. Why people, when it comes to graphic design and branding design and market strategy and sales, they have such a bad reaction to it. And this is what creates the disconnection with graphic designers or strategists. How do I price out my product and my service? So all this disconnection, somehow it became a necessity for me to try to understand more. So I started doing research on behavior design, how people perceive, how you sell. So after a lot of research about behavior design, a lot of psychology, I realized it all comes down to how we articulate our value. And there's a lot of education that we need to invest on for our clients. And we don't really do it. I'm sure a lot of people doing it, but in the bigger spectrum of things, not a lot of people invest in teaching their clients what they really do. And I have like a very recent example that I thought I'd discuss with you. I had like two graduates from the School of Visual Arts, twin brothers, a friend of a friend. His father was a friend of mine. And he reached out and said, listen, they need some advice. They're building a graphic design business, what they can do. I say, okay, let them come and I will see what I can do. So they have a project to build a logo for a Mexican restaurant. And what happens is, how do we price it? I say, what do you think you can price it? I say, 500? I say, okay, that sounds good. You just graduated, right? And somehow we created something like a method to approach the client to understand about the logo. So I put them in a discussion to ask them where the owner is going to use the logo. And we say, are they going to use it on the signage? Are they going to use it on the awnings? Are they going to use it on the brochures? Are they going to use it on the menus? Are they going to use it on the t-shirts? Are they going to use it on the hats? Are they using it on the website? Are they going to use it on Instagram, on LinkedIn? Are they going to use it in all these instances? Say, yes. So we found about 22 instances, different instances of where you apply the logo. So when they went to visit the client, they asked them the same thing, and they found out there's 28 different instances they can apply the logo. And immediately, once the owner realized about the logo that is important, immediately the discussion elevated on a different level, So they ended up selling the logo for $850, which was a weak win. They wanted to sell for $500. Again, these are fresh graduates from school. But there are many ways to educate people about what you do. And I think you really need to understand how this beautiful thing works. So I really invested time and money to start analyzing understanding how this thing works. So there's a lot of work on the brain.
So there is something different about you. One, that you love people and you really are passionate about. You really would rather not eat and help somebody else than eat, which was one of the things that we connect on. Not that we both eat. We both eat, people. We're both fine, but we really understand the value of community and loving on people. The other thing is you are a mad researcher and you dig in and you have introduced me to so many new concepts, and that's what I love. It's like, and we have good conversations. I don't just always agree with you. There are, and that's, I think, this wonderful thing that you've created. You create a place where other people can have just a different idea. And it's totally fine for them. And you enjoy having the discussion because it's going to be different. Things are going to be different for other people. I'm totally stealing this as an exercise. Where will your logo be used for my students? Because we're going to, I'm going to use that tomorrow or whatever, next day we meet. Okay. So have you always been a mad researcher?
When I wanted to understand how clients perceive our value as designers and creatives, this is when I started being deeper into research. I always liked to research, but there was a big gap. The research that I was conducting, the information wasn't really stored to my brain. So I was reading a lot of books. I was listening to a lot of podcasts. I was watching a lot of video blogs. But the things that were intriguing, staying in my mind was like the things that I think that I remember for a specific reason because of the way I am. So this is when I start researching. I say, I need to have this information inside of me. I don't want to miss this. And I wish I knew this method when I was a student, because I spent a lot of time killing my brain cells to memorize things, which is not the case. So a friend of mine, he's in School of Medicine, and he introduced me to a method called active recall and spaced repetition. And for the last year, I've been actively practicing active recall and spaced repetition for the information I'm attaining. And I feel like I get the pill from the limitless because I remember all those things. I listen to the podcast and the video blogs in double the speed instead of the normal speed. In the beginning, it was like somebody ate ilium and was, I say, what am I doing here? But there's a process also for the mind to adapt to the information. So somehow I hacked the way I was doing things so I can be useful to myself and eventually with what I built to be useful for my clients, students, friends, family. And I think there is a big room for improvement for everybody once they understand and realize the potential of the information that is out there.
So how did you vet what things worked and what things didn't? You practiced on a lot of people, and then, because I think when we did the Ikigai, for me, it took about maybe 40 minutes or 45 minutes. And now you kind of have it down to be like a 20-minute exercise. And you've really, like, how do you decide what goes and what stays?
So the Ikigai method is the first part of what I do when I discuss with people, just to understand more about them. And the Ikigai is not this Venn diagram that I offer. This is the Westernized version. Ikigai is something way deeper, especially for the Japanese that they have invented the Ikigai. I will have to elaborate more about Ikigai, but it's a big, big subject. But what I can say is this. When I started for the journey to find out my purpose, what am I doing? What's the meaning of life in what I do? I went through the book of Simon Sinek, and to find my why. Mm-hmm. And then I went through the story brand of Donald Miller, to understand more about frameworks. And then those were all great frameworks, but I still felt there's something missing. So I needed a more spiritual approach to identify what's the purpose is, because whoever tells you that they're going to do a framework, we're going to sit together on a one-on-one basis and we're going to find your purpose in 20 or 30 minutes, I think sounds too easy. There is a lot of practice and reaffirmation coming after that. Finding your purpose, let's say it's building again the foundation of a big building that's going to be strong against any kind of storm. And Ikigai has helped me personally, and I have done it to more than 50 people, and it's a good number. It's enough good number for me to understand how the psychosynthesis of people work when it comes to find their purpose. So I have a very good idea how the system works, and I'm very proud of the method, the way I'm doing it. The reason I'm doing it agile is because practice and repeat makes it best, In the beginning, we were like spending 1 hour and 2 hours to find the purpose, Slowly, I took it to 20 minutes, and that's the beginning. And then we have more exercises, but people feel very motivated by understanding what their purpose is through this framework.
You're like an athlete in your brain, because you're like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep refining. I'm going to get it so that I can. And it's not that you're doing it to get it done quickly. You're trying to be efficient, but also effective. So when did you start diving headfirst into this research? Was it once you heard that you realized you were going to have to pivot? Or was this before? Like, were you doing some of this even in New York?
2 years ago, okay. When my client, I showed him that, hey, man, you're the first in your say, yeah, it's natural for me. And that really triggered for me and say, okay, I need to explore this. And this is when I start researching deep about everything around what I do.
Okay. All right. So then, why do you think we learn together so well, and maybe why we learn from each other?
It's very simple. We share a lot of the same values, and we have a passion of helping people. For me, it's a part of a bigger research, a bigger mission to understand more about people. And with this information, I can be useful to people when I'm trying to help them through coaching. And you have a mission to help people regardless. We did your Ikigai, and you have the server. And I told you the biggest trait of a leader is to serve first. So I don't think you're a server, you're a leader, but suit yourself. If you prefer server, but I think you're a leader. But I think we share many values in terms of we see somebody that there's a potential there. So somehow you say it all the time, you see the gold. And that's something I don't think it's a magic power, but it's definitely a superpower you have. So I'm just following your lead there. So
I believe in God, and I believe God just kind of put it heavy on my heart when you asked me. And I just said, I thought about it for a second, and I was like, well, I have a PPP, but this sounds like something I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm going to dive in. And I did. And I think sometimes we just have to try things that maybe are uncomfortable, right? So one of the reasons that it's not that we just learn from each other, but we also have we work pretty well together. So in this Ikigai thing, so Ikigai means purpose of right, or life of tell them what it means.
Ikigai comes from the word ikiru. In Japanese means live, all right? So Ikigai means the value of living. So the word gai itself is the value of. And I don't know if somebody's practicing Japanese. I know a little bit, not a lot, but I know enough for the Ikigai. Like the do, it's called yaru. And yarigai, it means the value of doing. And work, it's the word hataraku. And hataraki ikigai, it means the value of working. What I like a lot is shinu, which means die. And shinigai means the value in dying for a cause. So ikigai, it's the value of living. And it has a lot of different variables, but I think that's the purpose of living. I mean, why you live for, what's the meaning of life in general sense.
And in the Ikigai, you talk about, our work, and we're doing it for our business, but you have to bring in some of that personal part as well, right? So one of the things and I don't know if this is where you wanted me to talk about this, but I think it's a good segue. I had a student who I felt like they were struggling, and it just seemed too general what they were saying, and I feel like they just couldn't put a pinpoint. And this is when we've been working together. So you were my PPP for like maybe a month before camp started, and you came to camp. So I appreciate you being a camper, and you really,
best time of my life.
You really were involved. It was terrific. And then we meet like 1 or 2 or sometimes 3 times a week. It's not just me and you, but sometimes it's multiple people, right? We have a group of people, the pro group and other things, right? The forest. For me, I was like, so I had been seeing you perfect the method, the whole thing, but the perfect Ikigai. And I heard you saying you were doing it quicker. You'd gotten it to be about 20 minutes. And I was like, whoa, because if it was 45 minutes for me or an hour for somebody, I was like, wow, this is a really improvement. But this was seriously, you were taking this seriously, trying to refine a method. And I just think that there's something for us to think about, like really diving in and going full force instead of saying, I'm just going to snip it. I'm just going to watch a little piece of the movie for the next month and maybe I'll get it. It was like, no, I'm going to watch the movie 18 times every day for the next until I can figure it out. So I was talking with a student and I said, I just had a feeling that this was, I couldn't do it. I knew I could try. I could try to do the Ikigai on her, but I was like, I don't think I could do it. And so then it just happened. I totally think it was a God thing. You texted me and I was like, could you do, I felt like I was asking you to do like an emergency appendectomy. I was like, could you do an emergency Ikigai for me? And he's like, sure, give me the link. So then he popped in and he did, so it was me, you, and the student for a while. And then I had to go talk to John Ingalls. And so you had time with her. And it was really amazing. And I think it was really important because that, I don't know, sparked something, I think, in you because you saw that we could work together or feed off of each other to help somebody.
True. That's what happened. I mean, I just text you to say hi say hi every day and say, hey, I need you right now. Are you available? And I had an hour of free time. I say, sure. And we talked to this beautiful person and great soul, great skills. And we were able in 20, 30 minutes to discover more about her. And she was very happy with the outcome. And I'm so happy it worked out well for her, for me, for you. And, we did something good for this person, right? So That was the outcome. Yeah.
And I think that for me, I kind of felt like a voyeur, right? Like sitting in, I was like, oh, I don't know if I should be here. Cause I was trying to text my thoughts instead of saying them out loud. Cause I didn't know, I feel like it is kind of a personal thing, but that's something else that you're trying is you're like, okay, well, maybe I can do the Ikigai with more than one person, or I can do part of the method with more than one person at a time, which again is to me a mind shift because I think, I can't do this in just with more than one person. So it was, there have been lots of things you've challenged me with is time, controlling my time, and saying that instead of the times controlling me, I'm controlling my time. And these have been things that you've practiced with me and helped me with, which I really appreciate. You want to tell them what we've been working on, or do you want to give them some more background on the method, your method that you've created?
Yeah, the forest method. I'm in the forest and I love the trees, and I have studied a lot about regenerative agriculture. I found it very interesting that we can actually make the climate change with ourselves by doing simple methods. And I recommend this new documentary on Netflix called Kiss the Ground. It's definitely something that people need to see. But regenerative agriculture about rebuilding the soil in order for the circle of life, the dioxide, the oxygen, to be as efficient as it needs to be for the circle of life. And you know the difference with a fertile soil and the difference with the dirt doesn't do anything. The soil, it's kind of fascinating what it does. So somehow I did my research and I found that the forest is one of the biggest regenerative habitats. What's going on inside the forest is tremendously fascinating. I mean, the whole ecosystem, the way it works. So somehow I built the methodology as, again, I built it for me just to help myself navigate how to build a business, a thriving business, and how to go to the next level. So my method of productivity, the way I learn, and the way actually I perceive my value and how I articulate my value. And it all comes down to a building up to learn how to sell. So the forest method is about building a growth mindset and transformation from the fixed mindset to the growth mindset with specific productivity tools that work for me. It works for a lot of people actually as I'm teaching them. So it's being validated, but you know, every people have different systems. And then once I build this productivity, my confidence is kind of automatic to be elevated because I have everything in place. Everything is working out. I feel good. I feel excited, energized. And, you know, then I'm teaching myself how to actually build a sales model that works based on my ethos. So
But sales is really hard for a lot of us. I know Amy and I both, not calling you out, Amy, you said this out loud with other people. Hopefully that's okay. We don't like selling. And I think I'm not alone in that. She said, it's no secret, I hate selling. And I do too. And I think there's a lot of us, we just feel slimy. And so this is one of the things that I love about you because you flipped it on us. So it's more about helping than selling, right?
I think selling is something that everybody's scared of, you know, and you see all the courses out there, learn how to sell and be a sales machine and everything. It creates like a stress and anxiety. I say, oh my God, I really have to do it. But everybody's missing the part that who you are, what's your value, what's your mindset, you know? Is your mindset a hungry mindset that wants to learn, wants to evolve? Because once you understand how valuable you are and what's the value you give to your clients and your ecosystem, then everything is kind of clear it is what you do. So sales is a very emotional part. And, you know, everybody thinks that sales is spammy, is sleazy, not for the method. The sales, it's a natural outcome of this connection that you build with a client based on the method of the forest. And it's an organic mindset of growth, and which people, they seem to react very well to it. And I have to make a shout out right now. I have to, because without people like Rafi Hopkins, Joanna Balkan, Annie Cho, Tim Minzer, without Diane Gibbs, you know, a lot of people, Alex Harton, people that are really got into the method and helped me understand more about the reaction to the method, I wouldn't be able to finalize it and build a framework with actionable tasks, with specific step-by-step that you can do it yourself, or you can do it with me or with a community. So the forest method is like a natural evolution of you. It's all about creating the best version of you. Sales, it's the outcome here, you know, but I'm not teaching how to sell. I'm teaching you how to think bigger than our fixed mindset get us to think of. So this is when we start talking about, you see that it's working for you, it's working for other people, and you seem to be very interested about what we do general for the community. And I'm in one of your Power Station groups. I love this group. I love everybody there. Matt, Pam, Amy, Ann.
Matt's here now.
Matt, illustrations. He's like, I'm a sucker for Matt. He has amazing illustrations. But I learned so many things. And I keep learning. And that's the beauty of teaching, learning. And we talk about it, say, listen, this has been a very weird year, 2020, from different many angles. Everybody's doing okay, but everybody's feeling there's many mental blocks. People feel stuck. They don't feel stuck. They're going back and forth like a ping pong ball, you know. There's a lot of uncertainty. And the epidemic, I think it's the opportune moment to change. And that's something also I'm teaching the Forest Method about kairos, which is an ancient Greek word, and it means the opportune moment to change. So when we talk about pivot, you know, you have to put everything in perspective and say, what do I have here and what do I want to go? You know, and then this is when you feel, oh my God, where do I go and how do I do this? And how do I start? Is it the website? Is it like a Facebook ad? All those things that seems like chaos when you have them in front of you. But, you know, I mean, what we do together, I mean, we empower a lot of people through our small communities, me with the Forest, you with the Creatives Ignite, your Power Station, you know, and we create a community that we support each other. And community is very important here, very important. It has helped me a lot. And I wish I had a community when I was starting my business 13 years ago. I was on my own trying to figure out things. So guess what, guys? I figured things out, and now I'm collaborating with other great masterminds to help you to go to the next level. But the next level, because we all talk about reach your potential, go to the next level. I really want to emphasize that what does it mean, go to the next level? And what is reach your potential? What is potential? What is the next level? I think it's a self-discovery. We don't really focus on us. We focus on the things we have to do externally, but internally, we keep feeling empty. It goes back and forth like a roller coaster of emotions, you know? It's very important. The fixed mindset that we have right now with the comfort zone that say, I know this, I do this, everything seems to work, but then you go back to your dark corners and say, what is going on, you know? Instead, I urge you through different practices to go to the growth mindset, which is a hungry mindset. Hungry to learn, hungry to grow, hungry to help, hungry to be present. So this is when we came and we're talking about the regenerative agriculture about 2021. And if there's something we can do to help creative entrepreneurs to realize internally how powerful they are. So I think the subject of today's beautiful discussion we have is like about the announcement of the Regeneration portal that we both built. And we're very proud of it because it has a set of exercises. So it's a workshop series. And we're going to start early December. It's going to be for 2 weeks. And it's going to have total of 3 morning workshops and 3 night workshops. And do you mind telling me the subjects?
We really believe in workshops because as from camp, we could see when people we're together, we're learning, we're in smaller groups, we're not always in the same groups, but we're able to like identify something, feel connected to other people instead of just doing something solely alone. So there's still pre-recorded. There's going to be 8 different videos that you'll watch. It's me and Kostas teaching. So it's weird because I'm going to be teaching. So we kind of split it up. So there's 3 that Kostas is really teaching and I'm just responding to. And then there's 3 that I'm doing that he's going to respond to. And then there's 2 that we're kind of doing together because so I was yellow and he was blue. And the ones that we were doing together were green, which I thought was good because the forest or just the regenerative thing. So we have 3 main topics that we are covering. There's like a pre-recorded and then there's a workshop. And what we did was you could just go to one of the workshops on Wednesday and one of the workshops on Saturday and one of the workshops on Wednesday. And then you come together for the big workshop on that final Saturday. Or if you want more practice, because again, Kostas obviously believes in practicing these things. And I think that this would help me, helps Amy, helps anybody who because I think when we practice doing something over and over and we tweak it just a little bit, it helps us define what we are saying better. It also helps solidify it. And so it's one of the practices that Kostas is going to teach in there has to do with that and that active recall kind of method, but really doing it for your business. And we've tried different things together. We've tried things in Power Station and then we've tried it in the forest and it's been good. So we're kind of having these little petri dishes. Anyway, the reason we wanted to do it as a workshop and not just these videos is because we really do believe. You want to tell them why you think? I mean, I think I explained. I think power of
Yeah,
community.
you did really great work, but a workshop actually, I mean, we don't want to do one more virtual initiative just, with recorded videos that it's up to you what you're going to do with them. There's some amazing content out there, but we realize that there's actually a good amount of practice that we can teach through a specific step-by-step process, and then we can actually do some really great collaboration. Through the Forest Method specifically, I found out the collaboration between the members, it's amazing because people actually participating, they help each other. So the power of the social value in those kind of practices elevate the whole concept. So it's going to be a workshop, it's going to be a lot of collaboration, and we really think that's going to elevate you as well. I mean, the reason we're doing the Regeneration Portal and the reason why we named it Regeneration Portal is because we think you have already what it takes to go to the next level, but somehow it's like we need some new roots, right? So the foundation is there. We're just going to create a regenerative process for you to redefine who you are. And we have 3 categories, which is about productivity, it's about mindset, and it's about actually income. So somehow we try to prepare you with exercise for productivity. And with all due respect to everybody has systems. But from my experience, what I've seen is everybody has systems to organize their lives, to make themselves more efficient, but we don't really have systems to create a growth mindset. And that's kind of exciting to see how it works for you. That's why active recall and spaced repetition as methods are really revolutionary in the way you learn. So I'm using a lot of metacognition practices in the forest, and I want to use that as well with Diane. And metacognition is about thinking, learning about learning. And once you apply this as a habit, a small habit in your daily cues, you will be surprised how powerful you are. And that's our aim here, just to make you understand really that your potential is about your new version. For 2021, we want to prepare you for an amazing year. 2020 was perplexed from many angles. Wherever you can see it, was very perplexed. I know a lot of people that did great. They took advantage of the pandemic, but a lot of people that still feel it's like a journey of up and down. The Regeneration Portal, me and you, Diane, I think will be responsible and accountable for getting people to a new mindset. So we're going to teach them some productivity skills that they work for us. We're going to show them how to build a growth mindset with simple exercises, so they can elevate the confidence. And then we're going to tell you about shells, about passive income, about affiliate links, about how to build online courses. So all those things are like actually things that you can do as a creative, and it's in front of you. Nothing can stop you to actually do them, all right? But we're going to provide the support and the frameworks to facilitate them in a more efficient way. So I'm very excited for the Regeneration Portal. It's a portal you're going to come before and after. So we're going to prepare you for 2021. So that's the initiative.
So again, you have 3 kind of practice workshops, and then you have a final workshop that's kind of culminating everything. And it's going to be at least 2 hours long, just to kind of give you an idea. The other is like an hour and a half. We're going to try to keep it at the content would be within an hour, and then you're practicing. So what I would like, I don't know if Kostas thinks this or not, but so you have your videos watched. If you haven't watched the videos, it doesn't matter. Come, you'll still get something out of it. It's just how you learn. Sometimes you can't get everything done. And we haven't decided when we're going to open those up so that you can start watching them. So you may be able to do that over Thanksgiving, even if you really wanted to. We could open it up then. But there's a Slack channel because, again, we saw how much community could build during this. And why we wanted to, I was like, oh, let's not do it at Christmas. And he's like, but this is when people need it. They need to have a fresh start in January. And it really was, he kind of held me, and it was uncomfortable, but I actually realized that it was maybe uncomfortable, but we have it, I think, priced well enough so that you would want to come and do these things. It's $99 for the first week. So till the 28th is the early bird special. And then there's a snowy owl option. If you want to know why can I tell them about the snowy? I can tell them about the snowy owl, right? So there's two options. There's a little bird called it's a dark-eyed junco, but we didn't really like the word dark-eyed. So we're just calling him a junco. You can do a junco, and that's just it's a $150 ticket, and for the first week you can get it for $99, which is terrific. And again, you get everything we've talked about. The only difference between the snowy owl and the junco is that you get some at least an hour and a half coaching with me and Costas if you do the snowy owl.
Together.
It's a together thing. So let me tell you about why we chose junco. We looked at a whole bunch of birds. We were trying to think, and this is a super hardy bird that is able to withstand cold and super snowy days, because that is what 2020 has been for so many of us. And I just wanted something that would, and it's this little bird, and it also, you know what, it likes to hang out at the bird feeder, which I thought was like the water cooler or like Slack, right? That we need each other. And you see them often in groups foraging for seeds. And I thought, oh, that's because we are better together. So I just loved the idea of this little junco bird, and it's super cute. And my intern's going to do some awesome illustrations. But right now we just have a real bird. Then the snowy owl, because Costas loves owls. And the snowy owl, if you don't know, the female ones don't always turn completely white, but they actually are white in the summer. Did you know that? They have great eyesight. And I know Matt Wood's like, what? They also can sit for long periods of time. I'm like, we are all owls. We are all sitting, right? Too long, right? But we're patient. And that's what I thought about. Okay, so these are entrepreneurs who are patient. They've gotten through this pandemic, but they're ready to make a move. They are hungry, and they are willing to make the sacrifice. Another thing about snowy owls I thought was neat was that they have nocturnal and diurnal. I don't even like that word. It sounds like something else. So they can see good in the day and at night, which is really cool, which I think, that's what a designer has to be. They have to be able to be, yes, we're owls and we're beavers. That's right. Matt Wood, if you don't know about the beaver, it'll be a whole nother story. You can go back and watch it. So, but that's why we just did two things, and we have the early bird for a week.
I think it's going to be a good practice for all of the people that they know they have skills. I like the process of how I teach about skills, about having your skills, refine your process, and then next is like actually understanding how it can be a product. And once you have refined all those steps, then you build reputation. The most important thing is that you need to build reputation with yourself. And then you become an authority. Once you become an authority, once you know your value and you can articulate it, it's very easy not to be disappointed when the customer says you're too expensive or whatever. You know your value, that's your pricing. And that's my aim, actually. I want to help you to understand how good you are in what you do. You have an unfair advantage. And that's a book out there, Unfair Advantage, I recommend you to read. You have an unfair advantage to other people. I'm just going to help you, Diane, to see it with great clarity. But at the end of the day, everyone is looking for shortcuts, right? Everybody. Let me hack my way in, but they don't know where they're going. So everybody's looking for shortcuts. But at the end of the day, they don't know where they're going. It's good to look for shortcuts. It's good to see how you hack your brain to think differently. I think shortcuts are good when you know where you're going. And something we're teaching also is about the 3 types of goals. We have the objective goals. And that's something I learned from Noah Kagan, the founder of AppSumo. He talks about 3 types of goals. The objective goals, the destination, right? I want to go to Guatemala. That's my objective goal. It's the progress goal. How am I doing? Track it down. Is it growing? Is it evolving? All right. Is it going according to the plan? Or
I'm just thinking about how you don't ever fill out your progress sheet for Power Station. So I just have more. Who said progress goal? Was that Noah Kagan too?
Don't call me out, please. And the last one is the system goals. Are the systems you have, your rituals, your daily routines, everything you do based on those other goals, are they working? So 3 goals, 3 types of goals. And think about it.
This is
Objective
where
goals.
Costas just goes on fire. If you think it's like a normal person, he is not. He's amazing with systems.
I'm a normal person.
I know, but the way you've worked systems and habits and created new pathways for your brain, but also pathways for your business. It's not that you never deal with confidence issues or clarity issues, but you stop yourself, you kind of recognize. Anyway, I just wanted to, the system stuff is going to be incredible. And sometimes we just need to pick pieces of people's things and put it together for ourselves. Like there's always something maybe that was missing in Donald Miller's for you, or in the other one, and I can't think of what it was. But I think that's where we go. But if you're coming in and you're honing it in and seeing what is there, and then you're able to go back and and that's what the mini workshops will kind of be. Because again, I love that. I didn't know that you're teaching me today: objectives, goals, progress goals, and system goals. I love it. Tell me more about systems.
By the way, I have to clarify that I don't think Donald Miller's framework or Simon Sinek's framework, they're lacking on anything. They're amazing. And I read both of the books and they really helped me to be who I am. I just feel I need to create something more for myself, and eventually by practicing to a lot of people, it seems that it works. I mean, evolution right. Of tactics, evolution of method and practices. The biggest problem that I have defined though, for all of the creatives, is how we consume content. Mm-hmm. The information overload that we're getting on a daily basis, it's not creating efficiency for us. We just feel that we learned something, but we didn't really relearn.
And we feel bad because there's always more, right?
Exactly. There's always more. And the information you just think you acquired is not there. Because the methods we were learning, believe it or not, they're not efficient, at least based on my experiments. What is very useful for you guys to understand is that there are methods for you. If you want to invest time, 1 hour of listening to this podcast, that you think it's very important for you, for your growth and for your business, you have to find ways to take all this information, and instead of having multiple notes all over, to have a system to acquire this information, this knowledge, and to stay here forever. So every time I'm investing time to learn something, is it like a pro call with Chris Do? Is there a video blog with Gary Vee? Whatever I'm learning, I have a system to acquire this information and stay here forever. And that was the life changer for me. That increased my productivity, that increased my confidence. I had the clarity that I needed, and it's something I'm teaching to my friends and my students, and I'm so happy to see the results they're working out. So it's learning about learning. It's metacognition.
I wasn't throwing you under the bus. I just think it's funny. But you know what? It's just an example of how you take systems some people have in place. And I think it's great. It doesn't mean, you cannot fill out your sheet. It doesn't matter. What it is that you've made a conscious effort that is not a great use of your time. And I think that is what we need to do. Just because Donald Miller said to do something or Simon Sinek said to do something, if it doesn't work for you, then throw it out. You'll find something else if you continue to look. That's what I asked you in the beginning. How do you vet what you throw out and what you stay? And I love that. And I don't care that do you know what I mean? Like, I don't care that you don't do it.
There's one thing you cannot get a refund on. It's your time.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've done like time things because I worry a lot about time and giving people time and making sure. And there have been some things that Kostas has taught me and I've been in practice at. And then sometimes I've had to give him the reins. And to me, that is just really nice to see somebody else do it. And then I can follow, or I can take the lead and do it. And so hopefully those are some of the things that you'll learn in this. I'm excited for you guys to explore some other ways of, even if it's just making a little bit of extra money every month. And maybe we're going to brainstorm to see how we can do that together and separately. And we're creating all these things now. And I can't wait. And I put it in the chat, and it will be at regenerationportal.com.
One small growth hack I would like to share with our friends here and whoever is going to listen to this podcast is that try to create a new habit of every time you listen to a podcast or an audible book or a YouTube video, try to put it in a 1.5 speed. Start with that. Start with that. It's going to be a little bit uncomfortable in the beginning, but once your brain starts to adapt to information, the way you start getting it, you'll feel that, oh my God, it's kind of the same. I'm in the twice the speed right now, and that saves me about half the time of how I'm consuming my content, plus all my systems that I have in place. But that's a small growth hack. Try to practice bigger speed on Audible, YouTube, and any kind of app you're using when you're consuming content.
So I also want to tell them how they can get involved with the forest or learn more about the forest. They can go to theforestmethod.com. And again, people in the forest built it. Alex made the beautiful, beautiful website. Rafi
Well, you did the wireframe, Rafi.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was,
so right now you just have an email sign up. It's not up yet, but feel free if you want to put your emails and I'm going to contact you.
When will the forest open up for people?
Next week. The following week, it's going to be ready.
You know what I saw over here? A ton. Clarity, clarity, clarity. I saw that a ton over in there. And I know we have, the reason why we pulled these things together is because of the things we've seen and heard over and over and over in the past 6 months or 9 months. And we just keep very voracious notes, Kostas and I, and then we tried to create things that will give y'all the tools that you need that we keep hearing. And Kostas is a mad researcher. Like, I have never met anybody who can consume and then take it into new ways. I have learned so much from him. I can't wait for you guys to, anyway, I can't wait. There's so many neat things. And the forest method is really interesting and helpful as well. The group is really neat. So always like to lift up people like that. And Kostas will be back in January on the podcast and talking about it as well. So more specific just about the forest method. Mm-hmm. Do you want to wrap up with anything?
The bottom line here is that I think everybody who's in the realm of doing creative work, they're more powerful than they think, and because I'm facing on a daily basis issues about confidence and issues about who I am, what's my clarity.
And value.
What's my value? All these questions are really legit, but I'm going to tell you that the day you decided to say, I'm going to do my business as a creative, that was the day that you called war to any kind of lack of confidence. So you say, we're at war, lack of confidence, and starting now, I'm going to fight you. Right there, that was an initiation of you becoming powerful. The day you decided to do whatever you do right now. An LLC, a limited corporation, business, freelancing, whatever that was the point right there. Go back there. Remember where you were, how you were. Remember how was your mindset. That was the time right there that you draw the line, said, I am kicking ass. I can do it. So whoever wants to go back to that feeling, or whoever is going back and forth, the Regeneration portal, December is going to be a very good getting you back practice.
Because we wanted to show you that you can go from this bud, this tons of potential, to this blossom, this something that's producing fruit. And I know this has been a very weird, scary, hungry year. And we just want to put 2021 started off from day one on the right way. Thank you guys for coming. We're a minute over, so I'm going to let you guys go. But again, theforestmethod.com. Sign up, get on that email list. And if you're interested in being part of the Regeneration Portal, it'll be at regenerationportal.com. But you can also, and we're on Instagram at that as well. But you can go to rechargingyou.com/regeneration-portal-2020-winter. Because I'm thinking we could do this on multiple times. But again, these small workshops, because we really believe in community. And we believe when we are doing it together, we are better and stronger and we learn more. Kostas, thank you so much for being here. And
thank you, my friend.
If people want to follow you, what would be on social media? What would be the best way for them to be able to do that?
Well, I'm not big in social media. I have a unique approach, but I have a brand tree. It's my nickname. So you can find me on Instagram with my old agency that I was doing photography, so Brand Tree. But most of you guys that know me where I am, so you can always find me. But I'm available and I'm always here if you need anything. So thank you all for being such a great, friends, and looking forward to everything.
And we'll put your email underneath. So if you need the links, they will be underneath. If you're listening on a podcast, they're in the more. So they're all underneath, or you can always check it out at rechargingyou.com/361. That's where everything will live. So we will see you guys next week. It's me teaching you something that I'm learning, and I will give you more insight then. We'll see you guys next week.